Senator Chambliss.
Thanks, Madam Chair, and gentlemen, thanks for the good work you're doing down at USDA. And I want to follow up on this particular issue of water quality, but it's some other related issues there too, Chief White. On February 17, you announced a partnership with the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation to improve water quality, wildlife habitat, and soil productivity. The partnership brings together $10 million of NRCS funding with an additional $10 million or more in private funds through NFWF to increase technical assistance in priority areas. Now, I want to ask you several related questions with regard to that partnership. First, can you provide the committee with details on how this partnership will be administered and how will the $10 million in funding be used? Secondly, are there appropriated funds from the Conservation Operations account, and does the funding go directly to NFWF? Then how will USD work with NFWF to ensure the funds are used appropriately, and how are the priority areas determined to be a priority and by whom?
Thank you, Senator. I'm glad you asked about that because I think that is one of the key things that relates to our future when we talk about reducing budgets and the need for federal agencies to be creative and how we can leverage the work that gets done in the field. The National Fish and Wildlife Foundation is a quasi-governmental. They have a charter by Congress to do these kinds of things, to raise money. Jeff Trondle, who's the Chief Executive Officer, is on the next panel of the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. He could probably answer some of this better as far as their authorities, but they are quasi-governmental. They do have a charter for this. Be happy to provide you with the details, the agreement we have, send it to you, the committee, your staff, whatever you all prefer. That's your first question. Yes, we'll provide the details. Second one, you said, is conservation operations funds used? No, they are not. We are using Farm Bill technical assistance. If I recall correctly, it was some EQIP, some wildlife habitat incentive, and some CRP funding. One of the things in this agreement is to help us with the CRP as well as FSA, and Bruce has talked some about the agreements that are being done. And the third question was, how will USDA do something? Help me.
How will USDA work with NFWF to ensure the funds are used appropriately? And who's going to determine these priority areas?
Okay, the priority areas. Priority areas, to work with them to ensure the funds are used properly, this is going to be dollars that would be given as grants to an entity that is successful in competing with this. I'm from Missouri, and you have to show me stuff. And last year we tried a $1 million effort with National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. They took that $1 million and they turned it into $5 million with leveraged donations. I know we need more boots on the ground to do conservation. I really don't care whose foot is in that boot, if it's NRCS or local or state or non-governmental organization. I know we need the work out there to get it done. So after that experience last year, we obligated some more funds to, hopefully this $10 million will turn into 20 or 30 or something of that nature. The grants would go to things like Pheasants Forever. So Pheasants Forever would come up with their own money. They would get some match money from us that would be set aside for them to pay staff over a period of time. Those people would work in our offices. They would be Pheasants Forever or State Forestry or whatever people, but they would work under our day-to-day guidance. They would use our technical standards. They would have the e-authorization, the IT security that you would need in an NRCS office. If needed, we would do the background survey, have the fingerprinting done, so they would sign the confidentiality, the 1619 form that all of us have to honor and respect the confidentiality. And then it becomes more of the procurement process on as bills come. I think they come on a form called an 1172 quarterly, and they're verified that the charges were accrued, and then they're paid out. As far as the priority areas, NRCS has about 15 initiatives, and we use those. There may be a couple of, I cannot remember all of them, Senator, but it's like the Chesapeake Bay, the Mississippi River, the sage grouse effort, but I can get you more specific information on all of those, sir. New England Forestry was in there. Actually, New England Forestry became a priority area because I got a letter from 7 New England governors asking us to do it. So there's a variety of things that I can provide a lot of information for you, sir.
Okay, well, if you don't mind following up with written responses to that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.